The best ball community knows me as Who. I'm here to do a mock draft 1.0. Last year, I did a single mock draft. I did it the week before the NFL draft. I hit the first 9 picks in a row by draft order. I did not get the teams correct. Obviously, I didn't have the Jacksonville trade in there. And I had Miami trading up for Kelvin Banks at 9 with the Saints, but the Saints stayed there and took Kelvin Banks themselves. So I got I think I got one other thing right. Like I didn't do well at the back end of the draft, but we're here to do a mock draft for this year pre-combine. Uh, and let's just get right into it. It's pretty obvious what's going to happen at one. We have for Nando Mendoza, and by the way, if I get some of these names wrong, uh, I do apologize to those people. And another thing, like we're going to go through round one, and I also have skill position players for those of you who did dynasty or best ball content for round two, things that I think could happen in round two if this happens. And I do have a trade. I have a really big trade in here that will really shape a lot of things. Uh, but for the round two edition, I didn't include that trade. I also think that the team that acquired an extra pick in round two wouldn't use that pick on another skill position player. So, so there is that. So anyway, we're here. Fernando Mendoza, pick one, very easy. Uh, Only quarterback with a really high grade this year. I think it's pretty obvious. Everybody thinks it's obvious. Like there's no real reason to discuss it. Um, the real question is are they going to pair Mendoza with another Ohio or another Indiana player? Sorry, I read Ohio State because there's two Ohio State guys right there. But are they going to try to pair him with Omar Cooper or Elijah Surratt in round two? Right, like that's the thing. That's the big question in my eyes. So, but anyway, we will move on to the second pick, and this is a bad spot for the Jets. Like they need everything that we don't really have. Like it's really hard to take a linebacker here, right? Like it's just really hard to take a linebacker at this position. Um, but they need linebacker pretty badly. They absolutely need a quarterback. There's nothing really here at quarterback. They're going to franchise Brees Hall, supposedly. So they don't really want Jeremiah Love, and it's also a high pick for Love. They actually have two defensive ends already, which is where the other part of the strength of the draft is. So this is just kind of a bad spot. Like they would love to trade out. They're not going to be able to. But I think they're just going to go with Arvell Reese, a guy who has some pass rushing upside, but I believe he could play as a middle linebacker as well, or at least an edge linebacker that can do a little bit of everything. So I think he's clearly the best line. Like him and Sonny Styles, both the Ohio State linebackers are insanely good. I do think that he's a little bit more of a chess piece. So I like him to the Jets here in a world where they're screaming at everybody to try to trade down and they don't get any takers. At number three, we have the Arizona Cardinals. Um, there is a chance they just take Jeremiah Love here and call it good, but I don't think they do that. I think they look to the future. I think that they draft an offensive lineman. This is the first name I'm probably going to absolutely destroy. Uh, Francis Maui Goa. There we go. There's our attempt. We tried it. Uh, to me, he's pretty clearly the best tackle in the draft. They absolutely need offensive line. Like I think I'm a offensive line you build through the trenches guy. So and I think that they're going to do that. they're going to look just like some of these other teams, like the Jets, like possibly the Dolphins, and some of these other teams to address quarterback next year and roster build this year. So we're going to have Francis Maui Goa. I hope I said that correct. On to the Titans. We know that their head coach wants defense and he really wants pass rush, right? And I think David Bailey fits their team very, very well. I know that he was down the board a little bit. There's a little bit of so David Bailey, insane pass rush grade, um, really good at defense, like run defense as well. His win rate is off the charts, and like everything as a pass rusher is awesome. I also think that some teams are going to, and I don't know that the Titans will be one, but some of the teams are going to worry about Ruben Bain if at the combine his arms measure as short as they did before the season. So if that doesn't clear up, like I think Ruben Bain could fall a little bit. Although I do agree he's an insanely good uh, pass rusher. He's not going to fall out of the top 10 of this. But like David Bailey, I think is kind of more of that mold, and putting him next to Jeffrey Simmons would be awesome. The New York Giants also, we're on to the Giants. We have wide receiver, guard, tackle, and corner. Uh, they also don't need they don't need a defensive end, just like the Jets, and that's basically the best player available. They're also okay at safety, and a lot of teams don't like to take a safety this high. Although Caleb Downs is he's easily one of the best uh, safeties we've seen like in recent years. Um, I think that they're just going to improve the offense, like build around your star quarterback. I have Carnell Tate pretty clearly over the other two wide receivers. That just gets more and more confirmed. The more I see, the more people I hear talk about it. Uh, I I have Tate well ahead. I don't think that he really has a negative spot in his game. Uh, he also complements, like to me, he complements everything they have, like the Theo Johnson, the Neighbors when he's healthy. Like he can play the other side. Uh, Neighbors and Tate both could play, like do everything. And then you have Scatterbo out of the backfield, like being able to run people over. Like they have two absolute hosses in Theo Johnson and Scatterbo, and then they're going to have two elite wide receivers outside. Now they'll have to spend some draft capital to improve the offensive line throughout the rest of the draft, but like having this core going forward would be fantastic for them. And like if this happens like next year, like even this year, their offense could take a gigantic leap, and then next year they could be insane. So I think Cardinal Tate is absolutely the move for the Giants. I think it makes the most sense. Um, I think pulling up a guard or tackle here is kind of too high. Um, I think you just wait till round two and see if there is somebody you like there and see if we get a faller. And then on to the Browns. This is kind of like they absolutely need offensive line. Like they're one of the team. I know I just said you don't pull up a tackle here. But there's a couple teams that are in desperate need of tackle or guard play. The Browns are one of those, but they also have 2 first-round picks. And there's several tackles or guard prospects that go where their other pick is down here at 24. Uh, I think they address their second biggest need. Well, their biggest need is quarterback, but other than that, it's offensive line and wide receiver. I think they really want Carnell Tate. If Carnell Tate's there, I think they take Carnell Tate. I think they go with a wide receiver. And we're going to assume that Jordan Tyson passes all of the medical stuff and they like him. I I think Tyson is a like I don't I like Tyson's fit in that offense better too. Like they need the big outside X. Teams like the X receivers more. They're willing to pay more for the X receivers. They're harder to find in the draft. Tyson, if he works out and if he's healthy, he profiles as that. Now, this is like this may be too high for him. If Maui Goa is available here, I think they run this pick up. But in this mock, we don't have Maui Goa available. So we're going to have them take Jordan Tyson and look at offensive line with their next two picks. And so we're on to the Commanders. The Commanders, this is where the Jeremiah Love stuff starts. Like there, it could happen at 3. There, some people think it could happen at 4. I think this is where the Jeremiah Love talks really start. But Washington needs everything, right? Like they really need to improve defense. They've needed to improve defense for a long time. They also, I mean, they could use a wide receiver as well, but I think they're like, you know what? We don't care about the arm length thing. We're just going to take Ruben Bain. He is an absolute animal, insane on all of his stuff, like the pass rush win rate, the pass rush grade. Like if you compare it to David Bailey, it's just slightly like the win rate is higher, uh, and the rush grade is slightly lower. But like this man was trained by Jason Taylor. Like his coach at Miami is Jason Taylor, former Miami Dolphin great. Uh, like that's something I want. If the arm length isn't great, like that's fine. He's so thick that like he's just going to run through people. It's going to be hard for people to get their arms on him, slow him down. Ruben Bain is going to be an animal. We're going to have the Commanders taking Ruben Bain at the 7. On to the 8. And by the way, I'm going to turn on some background music, just for everybody, and let me know if it was too loud or not, like in the comments. Whenever I live stream my drafts, people seem to think that this is the right volume, but let me know. All right, so place where we could easily have Jeremiah Love, right? Like they're linked to Jeremiah Love. They have Kamara on contract for another year. Gotta turn down. I have it loud in my headphones. I think that they're gonna go with like best player available. I think they're comfortable with their offense. I think if Tate or Tyson make it here that they're interested, I could see them entertaining Mekhi Lemon. They already have 2 really, really good linebackers, but they could easily use some safety help. And Caleb Downs is just going to be the best. Like he's one of the best 4 or 5 players almost on everybody's board. I know that people don't like safeties this high, but Caleb Downs is an amazing player. He's awesome at coverage, awesome at run defense. So like I don't see why they should have him fall. Look to the future. You've got a good offensive line already. You have your quarterback of the future. You have one wide receiver who's really good. This wide receiver class is very deep, so you could just take a wide receiver in round 2. So that's why I think they go with the best player available, and they take Caleb Downs. Now, I'm going to preface this. We have Jeremiah Love available in Kansas City. I originally went into this offseason thinking that Kansas City, like I'm a Chiefs fan. I don't want us to take Jeremiah Love. I think that we have way more needs than that. I think at this point, like it's fun. Like if this exact draft happens, it's fine, but I assume, based on some comments that Brett Beach has said, or I think it was Brett Beach, but our brass has came out and said that they want to improve the rush game. I don't think to get pressure off of Mahomes. I do agree with that, and I think that that's absolutely accurate. And our interior offensive line is really good, but our tackles are not good at all. I think that the only way to safely do that is to pay one of these better running backs in free agency. Like, go after the Kenneth Walker, make the trade for Breece Hall, give him the 3rd round pick they wanted last year. I think that the tag thing is just a bait to get a pick. We'll see if that's correct. So I actually think Kansas City desperately wants to trade down here. I don't think they really find a partner, like, for what they want. And I think they pull somebody way up the board. I think they pull Spencer Fano, who I think could be a riser as well. I think that we go with Spencer Fano, get a right tackle to replace Jawaan Taylor. I believe we're going to move on from Jawaan Taylor as well. I believe they free up like $28 million or something if we cut him. I can't remember. I've looked it up. We save a lot of money if we cut Jawaan Taylor, and Jawaan Taylor is Jawaan Taylor. He's like, shout out to him. He's helped us win a Super Bowl or two, but like he continually lines up offside and he doesn't protect that well anymore. So I would like to see him gone for that much money. And let's spend our early draft pick to help protect Patrick Mahomes, something that hasn't happened for a little while. And then we're on to pick 10. Bengals, I don't think are going to be interested in Jeremiah Love. They need anything on defense. We just take best player available. They need somebody to roam around. They have an elite corner already in DJ Turner. Let's get somebody in the middle of the field. Let's go Sonny Styles. He's good at coverage, and he's pretty solid at run defense. I think he's going to run pretty fast, like for a linebacker. The man is. This isn't combine weigh-ins, but like he's supposed to be like 6'5", 240. Like, let's get that man in the middle of our defense. Like, I think the Bengals fans would love him. They like down the stretch. Like, I think they'd really love him. And now we're up to the Dolphins. The Dolphins are also going to be wanting to trade down. I think, and maybe this trade, maybe this offer comes to Kansas City and maybe Kansas City takes it. I didn't do that specifically because I'm a Chiefs fan, and like, to me it would be absolute best case scenario for this trade to happen for Kansas City. But we're going to do it with the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are very into. Now I think the Dolphins would take a little less because they're willing, like they're trading for the future, right? Like they're playing for the future. Now, what team would need something right here? I think we have Jeremiah Love and we have Mekhi Lemon available. Jeremiah Love is a generational prospect. There's a team out there right now that really needs a running back. And we're going to go with the Houston Texans making a big move and coming all the way up here to take this player. Where are they? And I looked at over the cap, and basically they say that 11, like it was their over the cap's trade value calculator says that this is pretty close to fair. The 11th overall and the 87th overall for the 28th, 38th, and the 244th. So getting a massive gain here for the Dolphins, getting more really, really solid pieces. they don't need the talent that is here. I do think that all the elite talent is gone out of the draft probably around here, in my opinion. I could be wrong, and the combine can easily, like, the combine is going to shake things up. But we want to have some fun. We're going to do this trade. We're going to force this trade. They are not interested in trading for this pick. We don't care. We're doing it. We think they need this trade. I think that this is a win-win. We have the Houston Texans on the clock. We have the Houston Texans taking Jeremiah Love. Nobody's talking about something like this happening. I think the Texans. So the Texans, by the way, let's go to this sheet. The Texans have their pick 38, 59, 69. It's not correct. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so like if they make this trade, they still have pick 59 and 69, and they get 87. So they trade their first two picks to move up. They still have a second. They still have a third. They actually get a second third in this process, and they have 2 fourths. So like if I'm the Texans, I absolutely want to move right here. So like if they can move up to get Jeremiah Love, I think it's something they're going to be very interested in. So now we're on to Dallas. When Jerry Jones traded Micah Parsons away, they continually talked about wanting to improve the run defense, right? Like that's why when they traded away, they got Kenny Clark. I really like, and I think that this player is going to move up, Kendrick Falk. Yeah, he has a really solid run game, or a run grade. I kind of think that they look at him. There's another player that they could wait and try to get at 20, but I think that they find the guy that they like a little more, and they go ahead and they just pull up Kendrick Falk right here. It's not that much difference in the rank that PFF has, and I've heard he's a riser. I think he's a riser as well. So we're going to give him Kendrick Falk, or give the Cowboys Kendrick Falk to help set the edge and with the run defense. Like run defending edges are really awesome. And so we are to the Rams now. It would be really fun to put Mekhi Lemon on this team. Another guy who plays like Puka. Like, it would be really, really fun. I don't think they're going to do that. I think that they're going to look at the class, and they're going to want the number 1 corner in this class. And we're going to say that Jermond McCoy, he didn't play last year. He got a torn ACL. I think it was like off-season program around this time last year. He's got to be more than fully ready. So we're going to give them Jermond McCoy, the number 1 corner in the draft, in my eyes. So now we're to the Ravens. There's another defensive line. Like, they could go with Mekhi Lemon, but Mekhi Lemon and Zay Flowers, to me, like, are a little more similar than people think. Like, I do think that some teams are going to worry about Mekhi Lemon. I think they're going to let him fall in the draft. I don't like, he is a shorter guy. If the combine comes in and he's not 5'11", 190, like what his stats say, like 5'11", 195, if he comes in at 5'10", 190, like, he's definitely going to fall. If he comes in at that weight, I don't know that anybody wants to spend like a top 15 pick on him. Like, he's also not running at the combine, and I think that teams are going to look at that negatively. So I think that the Ravens are going to pass on a wide receiver here as well. I kind of think they attack wide receiver in free agency. I could see like a Mike Evans ending up here. So we're going to actually go down. They need defensive line. Caleb Banks I know the stats don't look great, but apparently he destroyed the Senior Bowl. I hope I don't have that mixed up. I'm fairly positive it was him. Um, but I think that they just want a big guy in the middle. Once again, a 336 guy. Let's give the Ravens Caleb Banks. And now we're on to the Buccaneers. Like, they absolutely need an edge. This could be a surprise Kenyon Sadiq team. Cade Otton is a free agent. I don't think they go with that. There is a guard that they could pull up that is getting a bunch of buzz right now in Ione here. That is a possibility. I think that they just go with the edge. They have they have an awesome interior player. Why can't I think of his name right now? Like one of the best defensive players in the league. I'm blanking. I don't know why. I'm sure you can make fun of me in the chat in the comments down below. Vita Vea. That's his name. I think putting Cassius Howell on the outside. He also kind of has, I believe he has an arm length issue. We'll find out more about at the combine. I think it's fine. He's awesome at pass rushing. So let's give them Cassius Howell here. I think it's a good fit for them. I think they absolutely need an edge more than anything else. I do think like they kind of needed defense last year and opted to go with the Bucks. They needed defense last year and they opted to go with Egbuka, which is proving to kind of be, they're using the 2-year down the line plan. Maybe they end up liking Sadiq a lot and take Sadiq there. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. We're at 16. The Jets at number 1 or at number 2 didn't really love their position. They wanted to try to trade down. They couldn't get any offers. They just took best player available, and they get to hit best player available and a need at the same time here. The Jets have Makai Lemon fall down to them. Makai Lemon in the slot with Garrett Wilson on the outside. Sign me up. It's too bad they don't have anybody to throw these two the ball. Hopefully they can address that. Like, let's say they do, like the Derek Carr to New York thing does happen, and they get Makai Lemon here with Garrett Wilson, with a solid offensive line, Breece Hall and Mason Taylor. Like, I'm not saying they would be an elite offense, but I think they would have some pretty fun games. And like, even for the future, I think Makai Lemon is a really good pick for them. I know nobody really wants to see Makai Lemon, not the fantasy community there, but I think from a team building perspective for the Jets, I think this would be a fantastic pick. Detroit, center, tackle, edge, corner. I think that they go with corner here. I think that they take best player like available in Mansour Delaney. I really think that this Ione has a chance to rise up the board, and I could easily see the Ravens, the Bucks, or the Lions pulling him up the board. We seen last year the Cowboys pulling him up the board, or pulling up a run blocker to number 12 or what, I think it was number 12 or 13. And it absolutely worked. Like, their offensive line was awesome because they done it. I think teams are going to be less worried in this draft class with the lack of top end talent to do stuff like that. But in this mock, we're going to have them take Mansour Delaney. I'm sure in the future I will probably have this one different. But for this mock, they definitely need an outside corner. And they could use somebody opposite Aiden Hutchinson as well. But I do think that the best thing for their team is if one of these two corners between Delaney and McCoy make it to them, I think they're going to have a hard time passing on it. And I don't really see the rest of the draft falling in a way to where one of these two guys aren't available for them. The only thing would be if they want to make sure to get their guy, um, like and pull up a guy like Ione, because I do know Dan Campbell likes offensive line. So we are at pick 18. I know it's not listed as a need here, but their offensive line was awful last year, really bad. And I've been talking this guy up. We're gonna have them pull him up. Like, just find a spot for him. Get the best blocker on the like, his pass block grade is awesome. His run block grade is solid. He's in the green on everything. Like he played at Penn State in the Big Ten, and he got all of these grades. Like, I'm in on him, and I've heard that he's probably going to rise throughout this process. Assuming he has good interviews and stuff, he absolutely, like, he could be a guy that ends up going like way, way high. I think, like, at the end of this. All right, so now we're to the Panthers. The Panthers need everything on defense. I don't really think they are going to attack wide receiver this year. They've done it the last couple of years. I think they're going to just live with what they have. I think Peter Woods is on the table. But I think that in the end, they're going to pull up Caden McDonald and try to get one really awesome run-stopping piece in the middle of their defense. It's something they've struggled with for a couple of years now. Let's throw some capital at it finally. Let's get Caden McDonald to the Carolina Panthers. It's a really good building block piece to be able to get them other pieces on their defense. Their defense kind of overperformed last year, and I think a big presence in the middle would be awesome for them. 6'3", 326. Like, yeah, he's shorter, but like, he's stout. He can anchor really good, and he's good at shedding the tackles to get the runners as well. We have pick 20. So this is kind of a very big pick. I think the Cowboys are going to try to trade out of this. I didn't have them with a trade here. I could see the Bears trading up here. I could also see the Bills trading up. Like, this is one pick before the Steelers. And if Denzel Boston's there for the Steelers, like, I think that if the Bills really want Denzel Boston, they're going to be willing to move up here. And if we look at this chart here, the Cowboys, they don't have a round 3 or 4 pick. And if the Bills do love Denzel Boston, I could see them throwing their pick and a third to the Cowboys to move up to take Denzel Boston. It just matters how much higher they have Denzel Boston over the other wide receivers. I don't have that happening here. With them not having those picks, I do think that they'd be willing to trade back. I think it's very likely that it happens. I just don't have a partner here. So they're going to sit here, and they're actually going to pull somebody up who, this guy is like, he's not going to go here. It's a safety. They could use a safety. They could use a lot of defense. Like, this guy he's 6'2", 202, but I think he's going to measure with gigantic arms. So let's get a monster in the middle of your defense. You don't pick forever, so whoever you really like, just pull them up here if you can't trade back. And this is kind of why I think they'll trade. Like, I think that at the end of the day, he's going to be a back end round 1 pick for certain. A lot of people like Emmanuel McNeill Warren, and I am one of them. Now, this is one of the easiest picks in the draft. Steelers absolutely they need corner and they need wide receiver and they need quarterback. Do they like Ty Simpson? I'm going to guess not this much. We're just going to pull up Denzel Boston, give them Denzel Boston. I assume Aaron Rodgers is going to be here. Maybe he's not. But either way, you need a wide receiver with more movement than DK Metcalf. Denzel Boston isn't the shiftiest guy, but DK Metcalf is one of the most unshifty guys. So Boston is a little shiftier, would also be able to free up the tight ends quite a bit in the middle of the field. I think that this would make for a good dynamic, and you could find a jitterbug type in free agency or something. So that's what we have there. Now we're to the Los Angeles Chargers. I think the Chargers here, like, they really want Ione. I could see them trading up to secure him. Like, that's how important it is. I could really see the Chargers trading up, like even to like 15 to secure Ione when it's all said and done. But they don't do that here, and they don't have any absolute studs on defense. They have a lot of really good players, and where do you need the most good players? Defensive line for rotations. Let's just take Peter Woods. He's kind of a little bit more of a projection, but I think that they're going to take him here. Your defense has worked really well. Get a rotational guy in there in your defensive interior. Peter Woods, welcome to the Los Angeles Chargers. Pick 23. They could easily take Terrell, who's fallen a little according to these. They could take Akeem Mesidor. They are a Akeem Mesidor 25. Also was with Jason Taylor. I think that he's in the talks here. I think TJ Parker's in the talk. There's a lot of things they could do. I think that they're going to shock some people, and I think they're going to take Kenyon Sadiq. Based on what's happening now, I like Kenyon Sadiq here specifically. Goddard is a free agent, so if Kenyon Sadiq tests as well as a lot of us think he will, it's an awesome pick for them. Their defense is really, really good. They could use some guys. Obviously, like at edge and corner, you can always use edges and corners. But I think that they're going to take this opportunity to take the best tight end in the class, according to most, and Kenyon Sadiq. So on to the Cleveland Browns at 24. We took Jordan Tyson because we didn't want to pull up a tackle here. So we absolutely need offensive line. If you're out on do you want Ty Simpson? Do you want another project guy? I don't think they do. I think they want to build out the rest of their team. I have them taking Caleb Lomu here. Caden Proctor, by the way, I know he's ranked higher, but like 366 might be generous. Like if he weighs in at 366 and not like even 358, like I do think that the Browns will take him here. But I have them taking Lomu instead. A little bit more, a guy who can move around a lot. Like he might end up playing guard, which is fine. He might play tackle, like not sure, but he's 308. He's going to be able to move around, do some movement for the team, pulling guard stuff or pulling tackle stuff. Like I like Lomu quite a bit. I think he would fit the team very well. They just need offensive line really bad. All right, so the Chicago Bears, they're running the card in if McNeil Warren's there. Like McNeil Warren to me fits them absolutely perfectly. But we're going to have them take a defensive interior, beef up the inner, like there's no linebacker. Like CJ Allen, I guess, could go there. He's been rising pretty fast. Maybe they do that. I think they're going to go in the trenches, take Lee Hunter, Texas Tech, really solid run defense grade, a solid pass grade, a big boy. Let's get the big boy in the middle. Now, why do I have that backwards? Okay, never mind. We're to the Buffalo Bills. They decided that they don't want to trade the extra third to move up to Boston because the extra third isn't worth it for the wide receiver that they want, right? Like that they like the depth at wide receiver instead. And because they like the depth at wide receiver, they're going to pass on wide receiver here as well. They are a win now team. Their defense was not great last year. If you're a win now team, let's give you the 25-year-old who is going to be ready to play, like for sure. He's a little bigger than a lot of the DNs this year. Like his pass rush grade is awesome. His run defense grade is awesome. Now, he doesn't have like the immense upside, but his floor is incredibly high. Like he is built to go now. Let's give them the Bills Akeem Mesidor. I think it's a perfect fit, honestly. Like I don't want to see it as I don't like Akeem Mesidor on this team is going to be a problem for a lot of people. All right, now we're on to San Francisco. Wide receiver, guard, edge, safety. We have an edge up here. We have a safety up here. I think they're going to go with a wide receiver. And I don't think we're going to go with the one that a lot of people like more. If you know me, you know my boy. I have Omar Cooper Jr. going to the 49ers in this draft. I think at the end of the day, some of the questions around Concepcion, they're like interview, like I assume that when the coaches get involved in the process and all that stuff, like Concepcion's going to fall a little more. The scouts are going to love Concepcion, and I think that when everything's all said and done, that Omar Cooper goes ahead of Concepcion. I think that he's going to fit perfectly with the Niners. They could easily take Thieneman or TJ Parker or Zion Young, even Monroe Freeling. I've heard that he's moving way up right now, and that he might also be considered for a guard. Like that could actually end up being like a pick for the Chargers. But I like Omar Cooper there to the Niners. I like it a lot. Now we're on to the Dolphins, right? So the Dolphins need everything, right? They're looking to build to the future. They need a second wide receiver for sure. They need a corner. We have a corner that's fallen in this draft. But I don't. This is something that could happen. I don't know that it's the best thing to happen. But I'm going to actually have them take Ty Simpson. So they trade back, and instead of pushing it past all the other quarterback needy teams, they're now in front of all of them. I think that they take him, let Quinn Ewers play for a year or whatever, see what they have. At the back end of this season, let Ty Simpson come in, get a little bit of NFL experience. Ty Simpson needs to sit. You have some pieces at offensive line there. They're all pretty young. Like, let them kind of work together, feel things out in the first half of the season with somebody else, whether it be Quinn Ewers or a Geno Smith or maybe Kyler, like if Kyler comes over, they're obviously not going to do this. If Malik Willis does, but if they don't end up with one of those guys, Ty Simpson here makes a lot of sense. And it also like goes forward with the tanking, right? Like they're definitely looking at next year's class. If you wait till like week 13 to put Ty Simpson in and you get to watch him for 4 or 5 games, right? If you see something there, like you can just build around him next year in the draft. You should have a pretty high draft pick. I don't think the Dolphins are going to be that great. I think most Dolphins fans would agree that they're probably not going to be that great next year. But why not take a guy that does have some upside? And if you like what you see, then next year you can just surround it with talent. All right, we are on to the Rams with the Rams' second pick in the first round. Their tackle just retired, and a player I just mentioned, like they could take Caden Proctor here, or they could take Monroe Freeling. I think Monroe Freeling would fit them a little more. Obviously, if they think he's going to play, if they think he can play tackle instead of guard, and if they don't think that he could play tackle, they would probably just select Caden Proctor in my mind. All right, now we're on to the Broncos. They're running back, tight end, center, linebacker. I think that this may be like, I know I already have a pretty big shock with the Jeremiah Love to the Texans here, but I think this could be a big shock. I think we're going to see somebody have an awesome combine. The guy's been on the freaks list. Why can't I type things in here? Okay. Like, I think we could see Eli Stowers go there. Like, Eli Stowers to me is the Joker that we looked for all last year, the one that he talked about all last year, the one he tried to draft by pulling RJ Harvey up into the second. It was never Evan Ingram. Stowers is an elite athlete. He also played quarterback. He came into college as a quarterback. And I think that knowledge of understanding defenses, like, so Travis Kelce played high school quarterback. I don't think he went to college as a quarterback, but he played quarterback in high school. That's one reason he's able to find the holes in zones so well. And Eli Stowers is going to have that ability as well. And he's going to test insanely well. So let's give Sean McVay, Sean Payton, my bad, not Sean McVay. Sean Payton, his Joker. Let's have them take Eli Stowers here. There's no way he falls back in the second round, I think, after the combine. So let's go ahead and do that. New England needs offensive line really bad. Give them the big guy. It doesn't matter what he weighs in at. Let's just go another tackle, Caden Proctor. Let's do it. I think it makes a lot of sense here. I'm not going to overthink it. And then Seattle needs running back, center, guard, linebacker, and corner according to PFF. Let's just take the falling value here. We have a falling corner almost every year. We're going to go Avian Terrell. I've already did this draft. It's going to say that it's already in the playbook. Oh, it says it isn't. But I already did this. I've already, just to like make sure that I did it correct. But here is the draft, 4 rounds, 1 through the first round. I'm going to post this to my X when I make this go live. I've recorded this video, but I've also went and did round 2 just skill position, who I think teams could take. And this is what I got. At pick 34, Arizona taking Jadarian Price. At 40, Kansas City finally breaking the mold of taking the shifty guy like Concepcion. Concepcion is there, and they finally like, we can't develop that guy. Give us the 6'4" beast on the outside, opposite Xavier Worthy. If Rice is available to play, like Fields is also going to help create space for him. And if he can't, Travis Kelce is still Travis Kelce. Let's do that. New Orleans, Concepcion, it like perfect complement to like let's get Tyler Shuck another weapon. Awesome compliment to Juwan Johnson plus Olave. I think it makes a lot of sense. Miami continues to take players that's not going to play this year. They take Chris Bell, who would have been probably around Denzel Boston, maybe ahead of Boston if he didn't have the torn ACL. Let's just continue to draft players who's not going to help you this year and give you a very good pick next year. Like maybe Ty Simpson works out and next year, like there is talk that they want to trade Jalen Waddle away as well, or that they would be willing to. Why not? Why not do that as well? Take Chris Bell here. Ty Simpson works out. Next year you draft Jeremiah Smith. You have Jeremiah Smith, you have Chris Bell, you have Ty Simpson. You have your offensive line semi in place already. You still don't have a defense, but like you have some fun going on there. Minnesota very much needs a running back. If Emmett Johnson has a good combine, I think Minnesota could take him here. I also could see Emmett Johnson clearly going in the third to any of the teams, but I do think Minnesota actually needs a running back, and I think like they need it pretty like a young one pretty well. We'll find out if they cut Aaron Jones or not. I'm 50-50 on that. I've heard some rumblings that they might. If they do, I think this makes sense. If they don't, I don't think it makes sense at all. So there is that as well. Buffalo, let's give them an actual outside receiver in Elijah Surratt at 60. This would be a fantastic landing spot for him. And it'd be great. Like, I think the Messidor plus Surratt combination for Buffalo is absolutely elite. Like, this would be perfect for them. I don't know if Surratt will make it to 60, but I think this would work very well. Rams, 61, Zachariah Branch. I'm not a Zachariah Branch fan, but the Rams could use a guy to do kickoff returns and punt returns. And like, I know Puka plays in the slot some, but like they also move him out to the outside some as well in 3 wide receiver sets. Zachariah Branch, I guess I didn't put an H in it. But Zachariah Branch, to me, would be an awesome fit for the Rams specifically, because I think that he can only play in the slot. Like, I don't like him for this year. I do think that he could project to be good down the line, and who better to teach you than Sean McVay. I got it right this time. And then New England, Chris Brazzell, just give us an X. Give us somebody who can actually do the outside role. That's what we got, though. That's my mock. Let me know in the comments what you think. Here it is. I did it all here. That's why I was reading it off of it from another screen. I hope you guys enjoy the content. Let me know what you think. How crazy am I with the Jeremiah Love thing? I don't know if the Dolphins should take Ty Simpson there if he's available, but I think it kind of makes some sense. But thanks for listening, everybody. If you liked the content, please like and subscribe. I'm on a road to 500 subs. At 500 subs, I mostly do best ball content, do drafts, best ball all the time. I'm going to work more of this kind of stuff in. But if you like to watch people draft live and just talk ball in general, like I go live 4 times a week, every week, and then 5 times most weeks for about 2 hours going through news, drafting teams, just generally talking ball. The community is awesome. Like, you're welcome to be part of it. Come on down, draft with us, or just watch these videos. I'm definitely going to be doing more of these. And I do a show every week with Steve Schaup from Fanspeak Network, where we're doing some analytical breakdowns every week on things to look for and what are positive and negative things. And we're basically learning as we look through it. So, like, the first one was wide receivers, the effect of wide receiver twos. So check that out as well. Thanks, everybody. Peace.
We're grinding through the torment. High volume, no management. Taming souls indecent. Grinding drafts through the abyss, no rest in our veins. Feel striking like lightning, flooding endless pains from late season voids. He's dropping all the flames. Best ball legions unite, shattering the chains. Old school RB stacking fury, derailing trendy trains. Who is commanding the storm etched in our brains? Who? Hey! Thunder in the names, claiming all the kills. Flames, names, games. Legion, wrath of fuse, stone age, torment remains. Best ball eternal, in remains infernal domain. Pterodactyl pigs, screaming, came in chaos reigns. Fossil fury fuels the fire.